So one of the things that caught my attention right now, Dane, was when you were saying like there's so many avenues where I can go and then you don't really know where to go. For me, I kind of sense it in the opposite. It's like I get nothing. Like I have no whisper, there's no line, there's like complete
Liar,
blank.
liar, liar, mentirosa.
Can you speak more about that? Because I
¿Qué
know that
pasa,
is a
loca,
lot.
mentirosa? Yes, when did you pretend you didn't have awareness? And who did you do it for?
So whenever we go blank is how like when am I shutting my awareness for? Who am I
Well,
shutting?
yeah, and you could get this very energy and go, what am I avoiding?
Cool.
Aren't the rest of you glad you're not the interviewer right now?
I know that I am a translator. I get in the line of fire no matter what, so I'm going to ask anyway. And then I go know that there's going to be a rebound energy that is going to help everyone. So yeah, I don't care.
Excellent. So, what are you avoiding? So, get this energy, get the blank. What are you avoiding? Wow, this is weird. What or who are you avoiding?
I get absolute power, like uncontainable.
Yeah. So interesting. So everything that is, you're probably the only one. Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and create it all, please.
Yep.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Okay. Wow. Huh, that's awesome. Okay, so I love it. I love that the exact thing is the exact thing that we're talking about. So what are you avoiding?
Mom and dad.
Yeah. Are you avoiding not avoiding?
That makes me laugh, so it must be true. Even though I don't.
Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and create it all, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So who or what are you defending for or against?
I get the planet. Doesn't make sense.
Let's try this. Who or what? See, when I run that, I go who or what, and it will show me one of those is lighter. And then are you defending for or against? And usually it shows me. So I end up with a version of that sometimes. So who or what are you defending for or against? Now, you're doing something interesting energetically where you are swapping them while I'm asking. So everything that is. Everywhere you are hiding your awareness so dynamically, everywhere you're hiding your awareness from everyone else so dynamically that causes you to have to hide it from you. Because if you knew you had it, you would no longer be able to hide it from them because then you'd be lying and you're not willing to lie except to yourself all the time. Will you just run and create all that, please?
Yes.
Times a godzillion, right, wrong, about all nine, pod, puck, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. In the Being You class, we found something that we eventually ended up calling the twist. And the twist is something that you invented as though it is you to live as a functioning member of an AI induced, artificial intelligence induced, electromagnetic, presumptive, need filled reality. So you invented a false you to do this reality for you and it functions like a being, but it's quite literally a being you apparently invented or hired or something. I'm going to say invented for now, but it's not quite right. And you did that so that the powers that be that wanted to stop consciousness would focus on that, believe that was all of you, while you were hiding your awareness and your very being so it could never be destroyed. And you're also hiding consciousness so it could never be destroyed. Everything that is times a godzillion. Whew, and all of you who felt like double agents your entire life, because there's this thing that appears to be you and appears to run your life and appears to make every stupid choice you've ever made and appears to value stupid choices over choice. And then there's a space of something called you that is beyond it that never seems to be able to get inside to make the choices. Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Okay, who does all of that shit belong to? Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. So will you now acknowledge now is the time and the space beyond time to untwist you so you can actually perceive, know, be, and receive you, the being you truly be. Thank you. Times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, pock, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. Wow. So Alba, were you part of facilitating people in creating this?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Okay, I want to say were you part of the programmers of it?
Yeah.
Okay, and more. So let's go with the energy of it. We acknowledge that. And is that part of the reason you felt like, because another thing that a lot of you may notice, and we talked about this in the Being You class too, is see, if the whole idea of all of what we're doing is awakening consciousness. And in consciousness, there is no war, there is no suffering, there is no poverty. There is abundance for all. There is truly ease and joy and glory as our waking, living, breathing world. And it just gets greater all the time. So in that, a lot of you know that you are interested in that. You know, it's part of what you desire. And and with consciousness, it's a way of changing everything that doesn't currently work in our world, that doesn't really work for any of us. So, and yet there are some of you that have even, you'll do access, but you feel like you're on the outside of it. Like everybody else is getting something you're not. Even in something that is actually about oneness, which is kind of weird because the whole idea is oneness. And yet there's like access and oneness, and then there's you. You're like, yeah, I don't even feel like I'm a part of those weirdos. No, part of that is a humanoid point of view. Okay. But there's another part of it that I found that we talked about in the Being You class, which is where how many of you specifically put yourself on the outside so that in case they manage to destroy consciousness with the main group, if you will, and the rest of everybody else, that you would, and the others that were on the quote unquote outside, would be able to actually make sure that consciousness survived, and you'd be able to awaken it when the time was right. Everything that is, and everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive it, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. The other thing is for certain groups, like I've got, I had a 3-month program. I was doing monsters of magic, miracles, money, and profit, and power, and all kinds of cool stuff. I never remember the name, but for them and for the certified facilitators and some of the advanced folks that have done a lot of access, I offered them this latest Being You class at a repeat price if anybody wanted to take it, because you get, I think, 25% off when you take it again within 12 months. I have the weirdest thing going on. I talk and there's my nose plugs in one, and then I'm like, and I go, and I'm like, what is going on? Anyway, sorry. That's the weirdest thing. So any of you that are drawn to this Being You class, that desire to get it, given that you have been on this book club, given that this is obviously an interest for you, I will make you the same offer. You can buy the recordings of the class, and you'll get the audios that you can listen to wherever you want, but also you get the video of the class. And I will make it gift you also the repeat price, even though some of you have never taken one. And I know probably not very many of you will even desire to do that, but I want to make this available to you because this truly was a game changer. And I do not say that lightly. Like, wow. So, in fact, a lot of the conversations we've been having today were actually from that class. So, one of the other things then is how many of you have felt like a double agent your whole life, and how much of that is actually that you were not a double agent, meaning pretending to be light and really working for the dark. It's more the other way around, where you allowed yourself to be part of all the unconsciousness and anti-consciousness, so you would know what was going on, so you'd be able to help change it when now was the time and now was the space. And so now is the time and now is the space. And that idea of you being a double agent, as though that meant you were somehow bad and wrong, but you acknowledge that what it really means is you were so friggin' brilliant and so friggin' potent that you're, instead of being a double agent, you're more like a triple agent, which actually truly is interested in consciousness. So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive it, everywhere you thought if you got too close to consciousness, you would destroy it. And everywhere you've been implanted and explanted with that, and everywhere you've been implanted and explanted to believe that if you get too close to anything that is light, that is good, that is great, that you will be the destruction of it. And everything you aligned and agreed with and resist and reacted to, all the implants, explants, all the EM, AI, cesspool, creating that, will you please rescind, revoke, or can't, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it. Times a gazillion, right? Run, good, bad, all nine, pod, pop, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Well, shit, not bad for a body whispering book club. Holy cow, Batman.
I think we confirm again that Dr. Dain here does not do intros or something that is pretty much like the stepping stone for anything. Thank you so much, Dain.
True story. And what's interesting though is I couldn't talk about it if you guys weren't willing to hear it. Because I know what that energy is, where you try to, it feels like pushing a battleship uphill with your nose. It's just like, I know what that's like. And this is not that. So I would like to acknowledge you all and the gift of your willingness to go on an undefined exploration if it's presented to you, and also to know that because if, and here's the other thing that's so interesting to me is it is so often the weirdest things that we hear that most have the resonance of truth. And I used to try to avoid saying the really weird things until a few years ago. I got to a point where I was like, you know what? If I have to be the weirdest fucker on the planet to be what I'm here to be, to create the change I'm here to create, that's fine. Because, I put up my hands, I do these energetic sessions that actually most people perceive now, which is interesting because for the first 20 years, they didn't, it's like 50% of the people might perceive it and the rest are like, why are you waving your hands at me? You're weird. You're stupid. You're wrong. You're dumb. I'm like, yeah, and you're a judgmental cunt. Go fuck yourself. Sorry, was that out loud? Did I say that in English? I'm sorry. Yeah, don't translate that part. No. And what I realized was I'm going to be as weird as I am. I'm going to stop trying to explain ESB, these energetic sessions that I do. I'm going to stop. What I chose to do was I'm going to go to the realms of energy that I can and that I know and that people are willing to have, even if I can't put words to it, even if I can't explain it to anybody. So everything that doesn't allow you to be all the weird energies you are, even if you can't explain it to anyone. And everything that doesn't allow you to recognize, you don't have to say anything to anyone about anything. You can be as weird as you are in your own damn head and nobody will ever know. Just look at people like most people do, like, hi, and just have all the weird shit going on in your head. Just look at them with the dumb smile they expect you to have, like everybody else is having, and then have all the weird shit go on in your head. Just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone. Everything that is, times a godzillion, way destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So what I was going to say with that was I noticed that as I was more willing to have that, and I've noticed all the way along for the last 23, almost 24 years now, I've noticed all the way along where I will say something that sounds like the weirdest fucking thing ever during a session, during a class, during a facilitation, whatever. And the person goes, oh my God, thank you. That explains so much. And you're like, oh, you mean that you're a different species and you're not from here and this reality isn't yours and you're here to change it? And yeah, thank you. Finally, somebody's speaking my language. Finally, somebody talking truth. I'm like, yeah, that's so cool. So I just want you to have that in your awareness also. Thank you. I want you to have in your awareness that is what is when you speak about what it. No, you don't have to go say weird shit just to prove you're weird. We do that too. Like a lot of people, try to say the weird thing to prove how weird they are. And it's like, you don't have to do that. Just don't hide what you know to be true from you. And then if you can have the conversation with somebody else, then you can have the conversation with somebody else. And Miss Alba, my body's only got a few minutes left, so I'll take another question or two if you want to.
No, I was actually going to say, I think this has been amazing, even beyond. I really didn't have any expectation, and I knew your body was going through change. So thank you for again changing my world and everyone's. It doesn't get any better than that. The funny thing is, I don't know if you were on already, but I was speaking to Nymphis in the Creative Edge. I asked, I remember that Gary had told me at some point that I really didn't like people and I didn't believe them. So I owe him $5 now. And I went into my Instagram account last night and I was like, shit, everything is about animals or nature, nothing else. No humans, no social, nothing. It was just like cats, dogs, nature. And I was like, oh, maybe this is showing me something that I did not want to see before. And it ties up everything with what you just said. Thank you so much, Dain.